Shame is now allowed to be seen. Holy shit.
It's a very vulnerable feeling.
That's what we want. Vulnerable means free. Because the opposite of vulnerable is stuck or hidden.
Okay.
Right? The opposite of vulnerable is hidden. So, am I seeing tears right now?
You are.
Yeah? You're feeling vulnerable.
Yeah.
Something is freeing itself. We want vulnerable. Thank you for being here with us. And first of all, I'm just feeling compassion for you. I'm sorry to hear you have chronic pain. Do you
Thank
want
you.
to tell us about any of that?
Um, sure. I went over a cliff about 24 years ago in a near-death car accident,
Wow.
and it wrecked some stuff in my neck that now that I'm, a much older, well, I've been having pain for years, let's be honest, but I'm also in a lot less pain than I used to be. I used to suffer with severe endometriosis, and I had a lifetime of trauma, so I had a lot more emotional pain, but I'm so much better from all the things. Like my recovery and my transformation over the last 6, even 2 years is unbelievably miraculous.
Wow.
However, the neck and shoulder pain and the lower back pain, I literally wake up crying in the morning sometimes. Listen, I go to chiropractic, I use oils, I do all the clean living things, I get physical therapy, massage, acupuncture, and every day I'm still battling with a level of pain that seems to be like I have work to do. I have people to help, and I even have my work right in front of me,
Mhm.
and I can't get over it. Takes over, and then I need to lay
So,
down, and then I can't be productive.
is it happening right now?
I have a more prominent pain right now because I injured my thumb, so that's actually like the higher. I usually have a pain onion. I know that sounds kind of morbid or weird, but I've had levels and levels of pain for years, and under this pain is a headache, and under that pain is neck tension and shoulder tension, and
Let
under that
me,
pain is back pain.
when you think of the pain, when you think about it, there's a level where you have the pain, but then I guarantee you, I would feel like there's probably levels where you feel, like I was saying, like this is unfair or unseen. Is there a word you would have for what, like, do you feel about it separate from the pain directly, but like I'm so annoyed that like now it was the neck, now it's my thumb, right? Like, do you have these kind of
I'm
moments?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no.
Um,
Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm I'm freaking tired and frustrated because I've been trying all the meditation techniques and everything for years, and I have not been able to surrender to it, alchemize it, transform it, integrate it, shine light on it, love it, hold space for it. Like I can't. It's just
So,
literally like this thing that won't go away.
do you think it might be part of it that you're trying to transform it? Like that would be very hard to do if you're trying to transform it.
I never thought about that. I
Yeah,
never thought about that.
take a deep breath in. So, isn't that amazing with this whole time you've never thought of that? So there might be an opening for something here, right? Now check this out. My question for you was, when you think about the pain, do you feel unseen? Do you feel it's unfair? Do you have those moments in your body that
It's
feel,
unfair for sure. Yeah.
so that's a thing you feel. Let's be there for that for a minute before we go to a solution and leave the unfair feeling that the inner child in you feels and escape to a solution. There's an inner child that feels this is unfair.
Yeah. I just feel like I've done all the work. When do I get a break? So that I can serve. All I want to do is serve, and it's
Yeah,
just the thing that's holding me back.
I know. And your desire to serve is in the way of you feeling this right now.
God.
It's unfair. The tears are a fact, right? They're coming up to prove something. There's an unseen girl who says, this is unfair. And every time she tries to tell you this is unfair, you go into some motivational future and she's going, no, look at me. This is unfair. It is unfair. Let's be there for that. Let's not leave that. What are you feeling right now?
I'm actually feeling hope because I see a ray or a rope or like a thread that's different. It's like the feeling of neurogenesis or neuroplasticity. There's an opening for a different thought pattern than I've ever conceived of
We're
before.
going to a consciousness that's much bigger than neuroplasticity. I just want you to know I heard what you're saying and it's awesome. And I just don't even want to minimize it to that. Right? Like, I also honor it. I'm not minimizing it, but at the same time, like, there's an inner child that said this is unfair and has come out your eyes, and we've never seen you with that awareness that you just had. Like, all the pain has been with an unfair feeling in your body that has not been seen. So everything that happens from the next minute on will start to include a little bit more of an opening that you've never looked at. There was a feeling of unfair. Would you have any other words for it? Unseen? Like when you think, God, I had my neck injury, now I have a thumb thing. And you've been burying life as unfair, and weirdly, it keeps giving you more injuries to say, yeah, you think that's unfair, and this is unfair, and this is unfair. Honor that, to cry that out. Otherwise, we'll give you another injury that you can say is unfair because it's a repressed feeling,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? So,
Yeah.
what would be another word you feel right now? Or you feel when you have like, if I take away your ability to go into the future or see yourself as I need to serve, if I just take that away from it, because you're serving right now, just by being there for unfair serves, right? If I take that ability to go into a solution from you, and you're just left with feelings and emotions and things that are coming up in your body, what would you feel right now? What do you feel if I take your, we'll do this next to fix it?
I'm not sure how to determine my self-worth.
Okay, so you have a belief that your self-worth is only, I know that I had said that in a different way earlier, but also that was my growth in that way. It sounds to me like your belief is being in service is needed, and if I don't know who I am and I don't know my self-worth. So it's not necessarily only, it might, there's one level where it might be an expansive calling, but it also is fear. You're scared to not know who you are or what your worth is. And in your childhood, if you didn't know what your worth was, what happened?
Well, I thought I knew what my worth was, but other people didn't value me at all. So it was, I thought what I thought was valuable, I was taught wasn't valuable, and I lost my sense of self-worth because of that.
What you were taught was valuable, you believed wasn't, so you lost your self-worth.
Yeah,
Okay.
because whatever I said, like, hey, my favorite color is black, you're weird, or hey, I like black cats, or you're weird. And it was just literally like no matter what I did or what music I liked or how I dressed, I was always the one that was teased and beat up and outcast and all of that. And my parents didn't like my choices. I was an artist and an entertainer. My parents are like, you need to be a secretary or an astronaut. And like nothing I did was the right thing.
So when you say self-worth, you mean getting your parents' approval. You don't mean self-worth. You mean your parents' approval.
Okay, well, all right. Okay, I
Right?
guess.
Like you fitting into whatever mold your parents say has nothing to do with your self-worth. That has to do with their approval. And by the way, let me just ask this. If they didn't approve of you, what happened? They ignored you, they
Um,
abandoned you, they yelled at you, hit you, what happened?
shame, shamed
Shame.
me.
So we're
Yeah.
not even chasing approval, we're running from shame,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
we are needing to be in service so that we can avoid feeling shame,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it's not that you are scared that you won't be in service, it's that you're scared that you'll feel shame. And I'm like, let's feel it.
Hmm.
How great would it be to feel shame? So it could be fully felt and you could see that you're still alive when you feel it. Do you feel,
Okay.
can you feel it right now? Open your heart and take a deep breath in. Do you feel any shame? You're held here, you're loved here. Do you feel
I
shame?
do. I do.
Where do you feel it?
In my solar plexus.
Okay. Take another deep breath right into your solar plexus. And I want you to say to it out loud, you are allowed to feel shame in my body.
You are allowed to feel shame in my body.
Yes. You're telling it you will take over as the parent and not let your parents' massively conditional way of loving you be the truth anymore. So shame is now allowed. All of that's buried. And it's going, create some distracting injuries to get this shit out,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So let's be there for shame because I understand there's intense neck pain and I know it's real and I know there's this stuff, but we've never seen it without you being okay with feeling it's not fair and being okay with shame release. Like those are two giant emotions that have been buried in your body since what? You were three, four,
Yeah.
right? So you've never known life without those things buried in your body. Isn't that crazy? So I get there's one level where there's the pain, and there's no part of me making a claim that we'll get rid of it. But I
Right.
am saying, what would it be like if we stopped carrying the resistance to your childhood patterns? What would happen? Would that help? I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Right. Well, I've never been able to see, I've literally been asking myself for years, like, what is the, deeper meaning of this? Let's consult Louise Hay's book. Let's, consult a shaman. Let's be the shaman. Let's, figure out what these pains actually mean. And I
Yeah.
never have had that light shed on them the way that you just did. So my gratitude, I'm kind of blown away, and I'm just, yeah, I thank you.
I'm
That's
honored to
new.
I'm honored to be with you, and the reason for that is those kind of books at one point serve people. Like Louise Hay's amazing, and I mean I'm with Hay House. I love them, right? And then there's all these things that serve a purpose, right? They are your expansion. They are your and there's some people that never even knew that there's a awareness of themselves existing. So a book like Louise Hay would be amazing, and that it is. I recommend her to everyone. At the same time, you're accessing a consciousness that's here now and isn't just going, okay, this book worked once 10 years ago, so I need to keep using the same methods.
Right.
Life is so cool. Life is so cool. It goes, I need you to learn a totally different way. Like
Right.
in third grade, I learned cursive, but if I learned it also in fourth and fifth and sixth grade, I would never be going up the grades. I'd just be
Right.
learning third grade, right? So
Right.
it goes, I got new things for you. And instead of us finding what this means, what if we just are here for it? And what if we just hold a space for shame is now allowed to be seen? Holy shit.
It's a very vulnerable feeling.
That's what we want. Vulnerable means free. Because the opposite of vulnerable is stuck or hidden,
Okay.
right? The opposite of vulnerable is hidden. So, am I seeing tears right now?
You are.
Yeah? You're feeling vulnerable.
Yeah.
Something is freeing itself. We want vulnerable. We want vulnerable. Come out from behind the couch, vulnerable. You are welcome here. Hello, vulnerable. We love you. Right? This is
Yeah.
if for everyone watching, if you feel that's a vulnerable thing I'm feeling, thank God, because the alternative is hidden, right?
Whew.
The
Yeah.
alternative is hidden. We don't want hidden, we want vulnerable. Where do you see it right now? Because you're just offering light to it, you're just offering it to God. Vulnerable means you're offering something to God. By letting me see it, you're letting you see it, which means it's just stuff that was in your body that you were running from looking at yourself, right? And if you show it to the world and go, I have this thing, then I see it. So you see what I see, which means that
Yeah.
energy which was in your body was dark and now it's light.
I'm getting this, and I'm getting a deeper understanding too of the work that I've been doing. I've been sharing my story about my life and my journey to wellness on social media for almost 2 years, and learning how to use social media to get positive messages out into the world. And people in the beginning were telling me, your story matters, your journey matters. And I'm like, how can my pain or how I overcame this addiction or that like help anyone? And I've realized that that sharing my story does help other people. And so that being seen, it's all tying into the same thing that you're saying. And I'm just having a like gigantic wow moment about the path I'm already on. And
Yeah.
I'm just feeling some big ass renewed hope over here.
Yes. Like I would up that. Yes, your story matters, but not as much as you matter.
Oh,
You know
thank
that
you.
like
Of course.
on the old paradigm, your story matters. Everyone needs to get you, you got to tell your story to the world and we got to market it. But also
Yeah.
there's pain in your body that matters. And we're sitting here saying screw you to this feeling so we can get our story out and then everyone's writing an independent book about their story while they're burying their shame. Like, how
Yeah,
about
you got that nail on the head. Wow.
right? Like it's like, oh, I got to tell my
Okay.
story while this shit's buried. In fact, the more it's buried, the more I got to get my story out so I feel like I'm something because I don't
I
get that
see.
my being okay with myself actually will help me transcend all of that, right?
Okay. 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 I
And
got
then
it.
everyone doesn't have to send me their book to my PO box every week
Right.
because I can't read all those books. They're also
Right.
very good, but I just overlook at my PO box and it's like I'm like I know, but there's chronic pain. So your story
Okay.
does matter, but wait until you know your story after you know you.
Okay.
Do you feel that? Like that was what we were isn't that amazing? The shame and the it's not fair was right here. And we're
Yeah.
going, I got to be in service over here.
Right. Okay.
So what do you
I'm
feel what do you feel right now?
I'm feeling a little bit unsettled actually because I had my game plan on and you just kind of busted it up.
I know. When people work with me or they have one-on-ones with me or whatever, there's like an agenda and I'm like, nope. You know, and then, why am I crying? Uh, uh,
Well, you'll be happy to know that when I got on this call today, 'cause it's my first call with you. It's my
oh,
first
wow.
active month with your program, although I've been watching you for years. And I told myself, I looked in the mirror before I got on the call and I said, I hope I screw this up.
That's what the point of that is. Do you notice you had a plan to make sure you didn't screw it up? Because the worst thing in the world would be to feel shame and to feel unloved and to feel it's
Right,
unfair. So we've
right.
been burying that and going, I got to go help a bunch of people.
Ugh,
And if I'm not in service, then I'm not enough. And I would love to offer be in service, but not out of the fear of not enoughness. That
yeah,
was what I was talking about earlier when
yeah,
you're making an action out of a fear of a feeling.
yeah.
Right. So,
Okay.
so I want to offer this. You said you feel unsettled. Could you take a deep breath and tell the energy this? You are allowed to feel unsettled in my body.
You are allowed to feel unsettled in my body.
Yeah. And take a deep breath
Mhm.
in. And what does that feel like?
That feels real comfortable. That feels like my baseline. That feels like my present 0 point where I get to this point. And I'm getting here more and more often.
Yes.
Just yeah, got to clear a couple of big blocks.
That's you. That's you. That place that you call 0 point is you.
Hmm.
And the more you go into 0 point, the more you go into you, the more these patterns of shame that are just you've experienced something when you were a kid and it was too big for your little girl's body to handle this thing that's so big. Like when our parents yell at us and we're 4 and a giant monster is mad at us, like our body doesn't know how to comprehend it. So then we grow up and it goes, do everything you can to avoid that again. But it doesn't
Hmm.
get, I'm now not the 4-year-old, right?
Right,
And
right.
so you're here creating this amazing space for all these patterns that no longer serve you to be purged. What a gift.
Thank you. Honestly, mahalo. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's wonderful. Let me ask you this, and you're welcome to say no, but I think there's a ton of people who would love to hear this, and I had so much fun on this that I'm considering making this a YouTube video, if that's okay with you.
Oh,
And I'll
of course. Oh my
put your
goodness. I
website on it too.
Thank you so much. That would be amazing. Yes, I'm more than I mean that see, I'm serving now. That floats my boat.
Yeah. Do you notice that service and magic comes to you in angles you weren't thinking of? Like when we're really real. Like weirdly, the byproduct of you crying out the shame And the feelings of unfair is life goes, we got to fill that void with something. So, hey, can we make a YouTube video where thousands of people see it and some might go to your page and bring you more business because you just released the blockage of the receiving,
Thank you.
right? So, what's
Thank
your
you.
website so everyone can find you if they want to?
Well, I'm a multipreneur, so I have an eco-friendly glitter company, which is mermaidmagicglitter.com.
Awesome.
And Living Art Wellness is my Instagram, where I do all of my lifestyle education, but there's no website affiliated with it.
No problem. Well,
Thank
now we've
you.
said it, and then people can watch this video, and
Thank
maybe
you. Oh
people
my
can try and
gosh.
sense some chronic pain. And I'm not making any claims like this will get rid of the pain, but I'm
Of
curious.
course.
I'm really curious what would happen if those little feelings were released a little bit and replaced with energy in the moment. I'm so curious what would happen. And I want you to know how in service you are to the world because watch this. I'm going to turn the comments on now and let's
Oh, okay.
see if the audience that watched that, they're almost all still here, even though we're past the time, they're all still here. That's how good it was. And let's see, I want you to read the comments with me about what people are getting out of it. Had a big cry. Look at that. We're collectively releasing. Love you.
What the
Amen.
hell?
You are beautiful. That was so helpful. You're so beautiful. Serena, way to go. I
Oh
can't
my
even up
God. No
big
way.
awareness. Thank you for your honesty, deep. Serena, you're amazing. I can't even, I mean, you're so vulnerable. You're so open. You have an amazing smile. Keep smiling. I have no idea. You have no idea how much you helped me. You have no idea. Enjoy life, my friend. Mahalo, big shift. Thank you. Love you. Thank you both. Massive shifts in me. Shine your light brightly. Look, accidentally, you're helping everybody. You're totally in service right now. Not the way you were planning. And so it really is trying to happen in a bigger way. Beautiful work. Thank you so much. Love to you. You are amazing. So honest. Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
my
so
God.
much. That was amazing. That
Oh
was,
my
yeah, yeah, we love you.
God.
So, Serena,
You
how do
could have
you,
had this.
yeah, I mean, and by the way, reading those comments, I noticed tears. What are you feeling right now?
I'm so grateful, and I'm like really blown away.
Mm.
That's a lot of love. I mean, I mean that was honestly, I'm really blown. Like, I'm sorry, I'm delirious now.
You're, you're the best. This was one of my favorite calls ever. There, I love them all. That was
Thank you,
really,
thank
really
you,
beautiful.
Kyle.
And
Thank you. I'm so glad.
And there's a great quote that says you can't see the label from inside the bottle, which I love to bring up. And I just want to
Ooh,
share with you from outside how open you are. And it was just an awareness issue. You just didn't know that thing. So I just want to show you that like you're so wide open to anything, seeking, opening to what could be happening. And it was just like, oh, I didn't see that. That's just a 2-inch shift. So if we're shifting from trying to find the answer to what do I feel right now, you're going to be free.
oh my God. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Kyle. Honestly, from my heart, my soul, my God, this is crazy. Like I first saw your videos, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, and you changed my life then. Like it was right when I moved back to the island and I had almost died and I had just started my life over and I found you and you changed my life then and then you kind of flowed away and then I found you again. My friend gifted me a month to this. And
Wow.
then I'm like, well, I guess I have to go back to Kyle now. It's time. And
Who,
then this, I'm just blown away.
who's your friend that gifted you this?
Maya.
Well, we want to thank Maya, and I just want to let Maya know that might have been a really good gift because you could be changing everything with that little shift, right?
Yeah, big time. Everything is changed. Not could be,
Yeah.
is.
Is. You're creating a
Yeah,
different world right now. So,
yeah.
Serena,
Thank
we
you.
love you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I love you too. Thank you.